Welcome to this week's edition of From the Field. I'm Justin Travis, Agronomy Account Manager with Alcivia out of the Osseo location. Well, it certainly doesn't look like spring 2022 is going to be an early one. As you can see, we're dealing with a little bit of snow in the Osseo area today. So, since it's been such a cold, wet spring so far, I just wanted to touch base with you guys on soil temperature and how that relates to germination of our crop this planting season. So if you've been doing this a while, I'm sure you've heard, 50-degree soil temperature, is ideal time to start planting corn. That's when germination is going to begin, is at 50 degrees with corn. Soybeans really isn't a whole lot different. We'll see it 50 to 55 degrees, and I would say shoot for more of that 55 degrees if we can. But why is, the soil temperature so important when it comes to germination, getting that plant up and going? So, the longer the seed sits there, the greater the risk is going to be for outside factors to reduce our germination and final stand. Some of those things would be, those seedling blights or diseases, rot, insect feeding. If we plant and that seed's first drink of water at imbibition is a cold drink of water, we can get some cold shock, some chilling injury that's going to have an effect on germination there. And wildlife feeding. There are areas I know that bird damage is a big problem. So the longer that seed is sitting there in the soil, the greater the chances we're going to have a reduced stand come emergence. So, what are some things that we can take into consideration to help, best promote germination and fast germination? Like I said, soil temperature. Make sure we're going to plant at that ideal soil temp. If we're getting close to that 50-degree mark, look at the forecast of what it's calling for. So, let's say we're 48 degrees, the forecast is calling for some nice warm sunny days, the next, 4 or 5 days, we probably can go ahead and pull the trigger and start planting, as that soil is going to warm up quickly over those next few days. Whereas if we're hovering around that 50 degrees and, the weather really isn't looking that warm, maybe talking some rain, we might want to hold off a little bit there just to prevent some injury or some issue when it comes to emergence. Other things to take into consideration of when we should start to plant or what may have an effect on your soil temperature are things that you're doing on your farm. So, are you a no-till farmer where you have a lot of crop residue out there that's insulating the soil versus, possibly you got some fall tillage done last fall, have a lot of soil exposed for sunlight that's going to warm up quicker? Think about what kind of soil type you're planting into. Our heavier, higher organic matter, high water holding capacity soils certainly are going to warm up different than our sands, our low OM, and low water holding capacity soils. So all things to take into consideration when you should start planting here in 2022, and things that you want to keep in mind to make sure that your 2022 crop is off to the best start with that first step of emergence. So with that, I'm Justin Travis, Agronomy Account Manager with Alcivia and Osseo. Feel free to reach out to myself or your local Alcivia agronomist with any questions you may have. Thank you.